to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico. You're talking to the bad guy. Toothpick in your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, y'all. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?
What's going on? It's Coach Boz here on SMACM World. I have a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Shabazz. It's great to be here. My name is Steve Campbell, and I'm very proud to be here today.
Yes, sir, man. I sure appreciate you, Coach, man. Before we start your journey and before we start the interview, I always edify, give people their roses, and give their just due, man. Coach, man, I really appreciate you for giving me an opportunity to play on another level in college, on the JUCO level. A lot of families that you gave an opportunity to that we still keep in touch. It's a brotherhood, a bond that you kind of made happen because you just saw something athletically and academically to go to Gulf Coast. That's where you coach me, if anybody didn't know. So you just gave us an opportunity to build a family. A lot of lessons learned at Gulf Coast while you were there. Your tenure there, man. Their stint there, man. Still keep up in touch with all of my teammates, man. Whether it's through Facebook or cell phones or whatever it is, we all stay in touch just because of you and the coaching staff that you have, man. Really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, Shabazz. I was blessed to be a part of it, to have the opportunity to coach you, and you were a special young man on the field and off the field in the classroom, and I'm so proud now you're giving back to the community and carrying that on. And as a coach, our time at Gulf Coast, we were so blessed to have you and the guys that you played with. So what great young men, and y'all gained a lot, but we gained more than you guys. I mean, I got to raise my family there on campus, and they got to grow up idolizing you guys and watching you guys play, and how y'all went about your business of trying to be the best you can on the field and in the classroom.
Absolutely.
And so it was really a special time for us, those perk years, like you talked about all your teammates. I try to keep up with as many of them as we possibly can, because that was a very, very special group and a special time for us. We spent 10 years there, which was the longest that we spent anywhere.
Right.
And it was a tremendous place for us.
Absolutely, Coach, man. One of my fond memories. It was actually in the classroom. I was late to your class one day, and you made an example out of me. You were like, I mean, Shabazz, you ever come late in my class again, you're gonna have to pay for it. And I was like, okay, I'll never be late. I'll never be late again for the head coach class. I was late for the head coach class, trying to hurry up and eat breakfast. We had breakfast chicken. It was an early morning, and I guess one of them mornings I was just trying to hurry up and eat. And I came in there. He was like, "Did you just wake up, Shabazz?" I was like, "No, sir. I'm just late. I'm not even finna try to." He said, "Don't ever be late again in my class." Yes, sir. And it was that. So that honesty, that just being up front with us, man. Never always can take that and pass it on to people, other kids that I'm always working with. So I love that about you, though. But Coach, man, let's go ahead and kind of get it. About your journey, man. Let's talk about your time and your high school playing career and your college playing career. Kind of give us a vision how it was for you. Yeah,
Shabazz, I've been blessed tremendously, and my God has really had a hand in my life at every stage. And it started off in my high school career. I was blessed to be able to play. I played at Pensacola. I'll say Pensacola it's actually Cantonment Tate High School. Okay. And I played for a legendary high school coach, a guy named Carl Madison. He's the second all-time winningest coach in the state of Florida. Wow. He just went into, Coach Madison just turned 92. He's still alive and healthy and sharp as can be. But he a great high school football coach, and he kind of planted that seed. We grew up in a paper mill town where the whole town shut down on Friday night, and you went to the ball game. You
sold out crowd.
Yeah, sold out. Football players, cheerleaders, the marching band was unbelievable. I mean, the whole community. You were proud of the band. You were proud of the football team, the cheerleaders. If you had, everybody had something to do, and that gave that whole community something to tie on to and to be proud of. And like I said, we won the state championship in 1980. Now, I was a 9th grader. I didn't get to play on that team, but I was a scout team for those guys. Got beat up by them and every day of practice. You know how that is. But that, my brother played on the 77 team. That was a regional championship team. And going all the way back, the 73 team, we got beat by Terry LeCount, Jacksonville Range. So I'm talking about when I'm a little boy, I'm watching the Tate Aggies play, and that was all you wanted to do when you grew up there. You wanted to play high school football. So played it at Tate. I remember my senior, I don't know, of course I'm gonna go play college afterwards with Shabazz. I ain't got a letter, don't have, ain't nobody coming in. I thought I was, I had a pretty good career. We had a guy that signed at Alabama. He's a great player, which Doug Allen was, which we all knew. You know how it is when there's an Alabama guy. In 7th, 8th grade, they good. And so that was Doug. So I played all the way up with him. He went and played at Alabama, but I'm not getting any interest at all. I remember my coach, first time I knew about Mississippi Community College, I go to my coach and I go, Coach, I'm not getting any letters or anything. Once he goes, well, Itawamba Junior College is having a tryout in Mobile. Go get you a pair of cleats and you could go to the tryout in Mobile. Well, that was what my plans were. First time because in Florida, you don't have junior college football. Community college, they play basketball really good, play baseball really good, but football is not a deal there. So I was getting ready to do that, and then the next day, Southeastern Louisiana University comes through, and they needed a center. And my coach knew their coach, and back then, there wasn't no huddle. You didn't watch no huddle highlights. You had to put the film on, and like I say, the film was sent to Tennessee for the running back that went to Alabama. So it wasn't no good finding a bunch of good highlight clips. So they took me kind of on a whim, and I signed there, and I got to start. I started as a freshman, played 2 years there at Southeastern, then they dropped football. This 1985 was Christmas of my sophomore year. We go home for Christmas break, and it comes out in the paper, Southeastern Louisiana drops football.
So y'all wouldn't even want, they didn't even want to.
We had an inkling, but you know how it is. You don't pay no attention to it. I mean, surely you're going to have football. They're not going to drop it. There was some rumors going around and stuff like that, but I never believed they would actually do it. But they did, and hey, you can come back and keep your scholarship, stay in school till you graduate, or try to transfer. I remember back then, again, there wasn't no internet, wasn't no portal. There was no internet. There was a book, and you looked up. I remember I started at Azusa Pacific with the A's, and went all the way down to the Western Washington was a W's. There wasn't no Y's or Z's, but I called every school in there. And Troy State was the school that responded first over Christmas. So, it's Christmas break. There ain't no internet. There ain't no cell phones. It wasn't even probably answering machines. Somebody was at home when the guy from Troy called and said, hey, we need a center. Yes, sir. Boom. I get in the car, drive up there. And I start my first year there. We win the conference championship. We get beat by South Dakota in the national semifinals. Win the conference. The next year we come back, we're preseason #1 in the nation because we had finished, 3rd in the nation the year before. Got beat by South Dakota, should have beat them. But anyway, #1 in the nation. We riding high. It's my senior year. First game of the year, we play Southeast Missouri, and we get popped. They beat us 18-17. So we go from #1 to like number 16, something like that. Boom, we got Nickel State next. Back then you had ties. There was no overtime. We tied Nickel State 24-24. Well, now we 0-1-1. We completely out the rankings. We done. And you know how you talking. I remember on the bus ride home from Thibodeau. They fixing to move us seniors out. They fixing to play the young guys. They make it. So we got back to work that next week, and we said, let's just try to find a way to win one game. you know, we won 1-1.
Right.
Let's just win one more game, keep the freshman who's biting at our heels, and let's find a way to stay on the field. Boom, we 2-1-1, 3-1-1. Wind up, we play Central Florida in the semis, in the national semifinals, and in Orlando. And back then it was a Citrus Bowl, Tangerine Bowl.
Yeah,
and they were a great football team. We beat them. That sent us to the national championship game. We played Portland State for the national championship, and we beat them and won the national championship. So that was my playing career.
Okay.
I wasn't going to the NFL or nothing like that. There's not much need for a 225-pound center, wishbone center.
Okay.
So my college coach knew Pat Dye at Auburn. They had a GA job, and Troy and Auburn are like an hour and 15 minutes.
Marquino Salas from Troy.
Marquino, that's right.
We used to.
You made that trip.
Yeah, I made that trip. Yeah.
So got me a GA job at Auburn. Was a graduate assistant. Got my master's degree there. We won 2 SEC championships. Loved that experience. Went to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
First game ever. You know how the Iron Bowl's always in Birmingham. I got to be a part of where Alabama came to Auburn, and Alabama was 10-0, ranked number 2 in the country, and we were like 8-2.
Yeah.
We had gotten beat by LSU in that 7-6, the earthquake game. Have you heard of that one?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was in that game.
Yeah.
If you watch some of the throwbacks, you'll see a young Coach Campbell on the sideline.
I'm gonna tell you, Coach. When I was at Perk, I used to love watching the classic games. Sugar Bowl comes on, and they cut the scene on the sideline. Coach Campbell, Campbell, you GA'd at Auburn. I didn't, I said, man, Coach Campbell was at Auburn, man. That's dope, man.
Coach Campbell had hair back then.
He did. He did. I used to watch those ESPN classes, but you can follow on. I just want to throw that in. You go ahead.
So got to be a part of that and learn under some legendary, Pat Dye. You coached Tracy Rocker, who was a Outland Lombardi Award winner, some great players, Lawyer Tillman, Reggie Slack was a quarterback, James Joseph, there was Alexander Wright, there was
a lot of great players.
David Rocker, I mean some great players on that team. And anyway, then Delta State offered, which we had played them at Troy, and I finished at Auburn and got my first full-time job at Delta State. Went there as the offensive line coach and strength coach. A guy named Don Skelton hired me. Coach Skelton, Mississippi College guy who had been my D coordinator at Southeastern. When they dropped football, he was our D. Well, he remembered me, and here we are years later. And needed my first job. Well, he hired me, and loved our time at Delta State. Spent 3 years there. Nickel State. The guy who I'd played for at Troy, Rick Rhodes, got the Nickel State head coaching job. So I went down there and coached the backs for 3 years. Okay. Coach Rhodes left and went to Stephen F. Austin as a defensive coach. Okay. So I stayed one more year with the new guy, a guy named Darren Barbier, great guy, who won some state championships at Honville in Louisiana. He became our head coach at Nicholls, stayed 1 year. Had the opportunity to get back to Mississippi. Went to Southwest Mississippi Community. My first venture into the Mississippi community college system was at Southwest. A guy named Joe Wickline had got the head coaching job. Joe later would be the head coach or the offense coordinator at Texas, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. So anyway, Joe was an assistant at Pearl River. Okay. He got the Southwest job, hired me from Nicholls. So I come up, move in the dorm. I did what Coach Davis did, was the dorm guy, and had a lot of fun there at Southwest. 6 months into the deal, after our first season, Wickline leaves and goes to Baylor. He took the O-line job at Baylor. Okay. So I got elevated to head coach. Was there 2 years, and then Delta State, where I'd been an assistant at, offered me the head coaching job. we go up there. Bring a lot of my Southwest guys. Load up on Hines guys. East Central, Jones, Pearl River, Colin. And Shabazz, our second year, we win the national championship. Right at the same field where at Troy, we'd won the 13 years later. And did it with Mississippi junior college guy, Gulf Coast. A guy named Billy Dorgan from Gulf Coast kicked the field goal that won us a conference championship. Jason Franklin from East Mississippi, receiver, broke a D2 record he had like 18, something like that, 18 touchdowns. He could fly. We had some really, Jamie Everett, Southwest, was a guard. Max Weather, Southwest, was our tackle. Randy Grierson, Pascagoula, was our starting center. Tredge Thomas, you know that Tredge Thomas, Pascagoula.
Right.
I'm talking
Pascagoula
about.
They always have talent.
Yes, Tredge won the Connerly Trophy for top player in the state of Mississippi. I'm talking about Ole Miss State,
he
all
was
of
the best overall player in the state.
Yes,
that's awesome.
We had a quarterback, a guy named Josh Bright from South Panola. He was a difference, 6'5", 235. Running the triple option. And they did not want to hit him. They did not want to hit him. So that was a great deal. But we were triple option, veer, midline, all that, and I got impatient. We talked about the good Lord having I got on my plan again, Shabazz. We go in D1. We go to Middle Tennessee. We play in Alabama. Tennessee.
Conference USA at this time?
Well, they were Sun Belt back then. But we on the schedule, we had Alabama, Tennessee, Vandy, and we had 4 SEC games. Yeah, who was that AD, right? who made that schedule? But spent 1 year there. Not a great year for us. Then had the opportunity to get back in Mississippi. Coach Sherrill at Mississippi State needed an O-line guy. So we go to Mississippi State, and I'm coaching offensive line there. We're there for 1 year. Coach Sherrill retires. So now Coach Kroom comes in, takes over, and so now I'm looking for a job again. Gulf Coast, which we're from Pensacola, right down the road. Gulf Coast offered me the job, and the rest is history. I loved every minute of it.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the Middle Tennessee. I didn't know you made a stint there. I didn't realize. That's why I love bringing people on the show to listen to their journey, and just I didn't know that. But after winning the national championship at Delta State, you would think you would be like, okay, let me try to go back to back. But
I know.
You said but then again, God was definitely on your side.
He was. And whenever Shabazz, what I saw is whenever I got off of my plan, when it's my plan. He goes, no, brother, you're going to get back on your knees, and we're going to get.
Absolutely.
And whenever I would say, Lord, put me where I'm supposed to be, he took care of, he took care of everything, and which he does. But whenever you get, and I'm bad about this, you start wanting to do your own deal, that's maybe not what he's got planned for you. And his plan's always way better than my plan, for sure. All of our plans.
Absolutely. Man, so the stint at Perk, was probably, I'm pretty sure you agree, you went over 100 games over there. That's probably, your most exciting time. And, got to raise your family there, meet a lot of people, win a lot of games, win some championships, man. I'll never forget. I got to meet my wife at Perk.
Awesome.
Bingo always tease me when I talk about it, but I got to meet my wife there. Lifelong brothers. I mean,
ain't no doubt.
And then, we always, checking on you, making sure you're good. And,
I appreciate that.
Really appreciate you coming on and just talk about, how your coaching journey and your life was as a coach, man. So definitely appreciate that. So, you stay at Perk for 10 years, and then you get another opportunity. Not opportunity comes to knock. Central Arkansas comes. How I'm gonna ask you this: how did you and Miss Shelley pray about that to say, okay, it's time to move on?
Shabazz, I guess it was about 08, somewhere in there. We won the national championship in 07. 08, we won another state championship. 09 was that year that Scuba beat us in that
classic,
74 game. So we should have, and that one we should have won. Then we win it in 010, but right in there, like West Georgia. We go to West Georgia, to University of West Georgia. Good God, they new president, new AD, new facilities, building a new stadium, all that. They offer us a job there. But like little Steven he was going in like 9th grade, something like that, and Kelsey was in 10th grade. We just said, well, you know, the timing's just not right. That was 10, 11, somewhere in there. Like 11, Southeastern, Hammond, where I had played. And we loved that area. I mean, Hammond, Baton Rouge, and we'd been at Southwest, and back then, you had that was part of Southwest District. We got to recruit kids from Amite, Ponchatoula, Kentwood. I mean, Hammond. Those were. You know how you got out of state and in-state. Those were in-state kids for Southwest. So I was down there. You know how like with JUCO at Gulf Coast, we were at Gulfport, and I was at Gulfport, St. Martin, Oak Springs every week. Same way when we were at Southwest, I was down in Hammond every week. So, but we had a chance to go to South. Just the timing was, and we prayed about it. No, Northwest Louisiana, and and Natchitoches. No, we just said no. We're good. We're good. This is where we want to be at Gulf Coast. So we stayed. The two oldest ones, Kelsey and Steven, had graduated. They got to go to Stone High. They got to go to Perk and loved every minute of it. They graduated from Perk and had gone off to college and all of that. And then our youngest, Tate, was like 2nd or 3rd grade. She was young, and we prayed about it and all that, and we said, if we're ever going to do, now would be the time. You don't want to wait until they're middle school age and uproot them or anything like that. And we just felt like that it was that the good Lord had opened a door for us. And I wasn't going. I said, we'll go look at it. We went up there, and it was really a beautiful place and all of that. And we just felt like, and it was a good. We enjoyed our 4 years up there. Conway was a beautiful town. I'd never been an Arkansas guy at all. I mean, I'd done all my recruiting, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida. But we fell in love with the state of Arkansas too. Great place. And had we got to coach against Gundy at Oklahoma State a couple of times. Went to Texas Tech, and we had Cliff Kingsbury and them on the ropes. We should have beat them. We're up. Oklahoma State was in top 10. It's a 1-touchdown game going in 4th quarter. Then they pull away a little bit late. Texas Tech, we got them. Now, late 3rd, we up on them. And they got all those. I don't remember if Baker Mayfield was there then or not, but they had some players, and we were up on them late in the 3rd. I think they wound up beating us 42-35, something like that. But that was a great experience to be able to And then I don't know. Then the South Alabama job came open. Chance to come home. Back in this area, and. But again, I don't know. By then, Coach Campbell was probably back on his plan again. So we will see. But we have been blessed at every step, and the good Lord's definitely taken care of us, and been so. Football's been great to me and my family.
Absolutely.
Gulf Coast was. Say my wife got her degree from there. My 2 oldest children got their degree from there, and like my son loved it so much. He left from Virginia Tech. Had a good job at Virginia Tech. He said, "Daddy, I'm going back home. That is where I want to be." And so that'll tell you how much that place has meant to us.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, my youngest daughter's named Tate. We went to Tate High School.
Right.
If we had another one, we'd probably name her Perk. Because that place has been.
So good to
the places that have been so good to us. And Perk definitely has been special for our whole family.
Absolutely, man. I want you to kind of talk about Miss Shelley and your kids and children, man, what they mean to you. especially Miss Shelley, because being a coach's wife is not it's not easy, because you know the grind for a coach to be successful, you're gonna have to put time. You're not gonna be at home as much. Miss Shelley definitely, you know, deserve a badge of honor.
She does.
Yeah,
she
and I know we all think highly of her.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know she does. She's been the biggest blessing that I've received. She grew up in that same community that I did, so she has that same love of football and all that is around it. Right. And she was a cheerleader in high school. We grew up doing the same things from elementary all the way up. On Friday night, you're at the high school football game, and it is a big commitment from your wife. What Shabazz, we talked about all those moves. Yeah, that's just not you moving. That's you family. Uprooting that family, right. And she has been behind our family, me and our every step of the way. Absolutely. She has not blinked and has not. You know, she's been my biggest motivator and my biggest support, because we've had some tremendous highs and lows, and she's been with me every step of the way, and been such so good for our, you know, our children. She was able to stay home, and you know, the hardest job is raising them children. You know,
two of my own, so
and you know, raising the children, spending time with them, and taking them to the ball practices, and making sure the homework's done, and all of those things. She has been a champ at each step of the way. And, you know, at Perk, she was our cheerleader coach.
I remember
for 10 years.
I remember Tate was she was the mini cheerleader. Tate was a baby. She was a baby, had a cheerleading outfit.
She's had on
she and the older she got, she
that's
had,
right.
You know, I remember that.
And she just got voted captain of her cheerleader. She'll be a senior this year, Shabazz. Can you believe that? That little bitty one running around will now be a senior, and she cheers at her high school there in Mobile.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, Coach, man. So I wish I could hold you a little bit longer, but I do want to touch on, you know, your new Hall of Fame induction from Delta State. Did you get inducted from Mississippi Gulf Coast as well?
Yes.
So you got two. So you're a Hall of Fame coach.
Well,
you know, I got to, you know, you're not gonna say it, but you know, your players will, man. I got to play for a Hall of Fame coach, which is rare. I mean, you know, it's rare. You know, I just, you know, thankful for that opportunity to play for you, coach. And another thing, unfortunately I had tore my PCL in my stint there, and you was the first person to run and check on me. I'll never forget that moment. You know, that was just, you know, so much going through an 18, 19-year-old kid mind. I'm never going to play football again. And you came to my room to check on me again, which was a big deal to me, Coach. You know, some people can think football players and athletes are disposable because, you know, they're just, in all honesty, somebody's next man's up. But you didn't make me feel like, Shabazz is done. He can't do nothing for the program. You came to that room, and all the other coaches, Coach Davis, Coach Huff, Coach Moore, you know, everybody came in that room and checked on me, and that's the biggest thing I could ever take. You know, not a play that you taught us. You know, that was just a character that you showed me that I got to continue on.
Well, Shabazz, I appreciate you saying that. We were blessed. I hated that for you because I knew what a talent you were and what a great young man you were. So I hated to see that happen for you. And I was so glad that you were at Gulf Coast. We were honored that you were there because you had a great high school career, and we appreciated you. We were glad to have you, and you were great for us. We were great for your teammates, and we were blessed to have you. So, you know, that Hall of Fame deal, I'm in the Hall of Fame because I was blessed to have great players. You mentioned Stevon Moore. What?
Great coaching staff.
Hall of Famer. Steve Davis, Hall of Famer, Chad Huff. I mean, Shabazz, what people don't realize, our time at Gulf Coast, it was me, Davis, Coach Moore, and Coach Huff. Those four, and then we had some young coaches but us four were there for 10 years. The core was there. You don't see that.
That's hard to do. It's hard to keep assistants that long.
And what, you know, we had, you know, that the success that we had there is directly attributable to those guys and the job they did of going out and recruiting and in coaching, and we all got along. We all worked hard together, you know, Shabazz, we talked about be unselfish, get better every day, do little things right. And that, you guys did an unbelievable job of doing that, and that staff did a great job of always being unselfish and putting, you know, I remember our basketball team was winning state championships and that whole dorm. Owen Hall, you know, there was a lot of pride in that whole campus on what was being accomplished. Our softball was winning. Soccer was winning big. So tons of, we're really proud of and everybody pulled together.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a family.
Absolutely, Coach. It definitely was a family, man. I can't hold you any longer, Coach, man. I had Coach Campbell, man, came on SMACM World. I'm Coach Shabazz. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, Chico, talking to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico, you're talking to the bad guy. Toothpick in your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, y'all. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?